I love listening to Fred Warner talk. It's like listening to Robert Saleh. He's gone, and this is the closest we'll have. He's really studied the kind of substance that Saleh gives and just the way he talks. Anyway, was asked, what's the state of the defense? And Warner went really into specifics. He said, first, we're going to be scary, which is a funny thing. It's a fun thing to hear a leader say about his defense. And then he went into specifics about DeMeco Ryans. This is definitely the biggest question about the defense. DeMeco. And he vouched for DeMeco the way that Richard Sherman used to vouch for Robert Saleh. He's like, look, I didn't even think about it, but he's like, he's been with me every step of the way. He was quality control in 17, got promoted to linebacker coach in 18. That's the year Fred Warner came in. Mm-hmm. What Fred Warner's saying, hey, look at my rise. That's DeMeco. I mean, this guy is really good. And people have been saying this about him, but they're like, he's going to be a head coach soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're really not being shy about the praise they're giving this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is going to be a head coach. He'll be a head coach. We'll lose him before we lose McDaniel. Because just listening to him talk, and we talked about this after their press conference, is that he is a lot more polished right now than what Saleh was when he took over in 2017.
Yeah.
And I think that goes two ways. I don't think it's just he's a more polished speaker, which he definitely is. That's clear. But I think he's a more polished coach. And a lot of that has to do with being a player very, very recently. Mm-hmm. But having a leader like Fred Warner definitely helps. And you're right. That's a great takeaway, because Sherman definitely was on the Saleh train, always pumping him up. He's the best. He's the greatest. He's the best. Well, Saleh's gone. Sherman's gone. Insert Ryans. Here's the leader, the new leader, for sure the leader of our defense, and Fred Warner. And we saw him take that torch last year, but now Sherman's nowhere to be found. So it's definitely Warner, and he's all in on DeMeco Ryans.
Yes, certainly. All in on DeMeco Ryans, and when he speaks, gives you so much confidence. I mean, I think Richard Sherman had the same effect with Robert Saleh. Like, people were skeptical when Richard Sherman kept repeating it. It's like, well, if Richard Sherman says it, it's got to be true. It's got to be true.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is there anything else I want to say about this? What was one more point I wanted to make about Fred Warner and DeMeco Ryans, but it escapes me. Oh, well, hold on. Kate Lombardi says, are we going to talk about how Trey was in none of the shots? He was in some of the shots.
He was not in the, I was actually going to talk about this, not when they did the jersey reveal at the end of that. Now, pictures that they posted, he's been in, but when they did the actual shots of the team and they were holding the crystal football, it was a lot of Jimmy G. I don't take anything from it.
He's like the male model for the team. It's like, hey, we got to take some pictures, Jimmy. We need you. And they also got Jerry Rice. Pictures of Jimmy Garoppolo and Jerry Rice. Who looked older in that picture than you? Jimmy had more gray.
Jerry Rice looks good, man.
He does. The one thing I want to say about Fred Warner before we wrapped it up was Richard Sherman and Robert Saleh went back to Seattle. So they had history. Yeah. Again, Warner and Ryans have history. 4 years now. Yeah. So it's interesting. In this, Fred Warner might just be able to get him a head coaching job. I kind of think of Ryans as he's got a lot in common with Saleh, but I think of him a little bit like Vrabel, a former linebacker who was very good, respected as a player and as a leader, and then just like skyrocketed through the coaching ranks.
Yeah.
Could be DeMeco.
Absolutely. Another thing that Fred Warner said that I want to hit on is that he talked about how the 49ers defense will be similar, but it will have a twist to it. And that the work that they're putting in is a sight to see, and that they feel like they are underdogs with something to prove this year on that defense.